Hey guys, I'm your host, Manny J, and welcome to the Styling My Way Through podcast. For those who don't know me, I am a wardrobe stylist and also a 2-time cancer survivor. I started this podcast because for a while now, especially in the last year, I've been feeling like, what is purpose? In 2019, I was diagnosed with AML for the second time, acute myeloid leukemia. And when I got diagnosed at the time, I didn't know what my future looked like. I didn't know if I was going to survive. I didn't know what life would look like after. I didn't know what the disease was going to do to my body. Would I be physically able to do the things that I normally do? So I had a lot of questions. But one thing that I do know that kept me sane throughout the whole process of recovery and, the diagnosis was styling. I started styling at a very young age. I started styling even before I actually knew it was styling. It started with playing with Barbie dolls and, joining my sister. And we used to play with Barbie dolls and dress them up. And, I guess it ties into like styling and it being a competition because I always knew I'm like, girl, I could dress my Barbie dolls way better than you. And truth be told, she knew that. My sister knew that. And she asked me to be her stylist without me knowing. So, as we grew up, I was going shopping with my sister and picking out her outfits. And then I was going shopping with my mom, picking out her outfits. It transitioned into going shopping with my friends. Going through something so serious like cancer really sparked something in me, which was like, I have to make the best out of this life. I have to do the most things out of this life because you really don't know what your future looks like. And especially at 19 years old, you're like, it's life or death right now. And if I beat this, what does life look like after that? I personally feel like it's my obligation, my calling to just, pour into other people. And I do that on a daily basis, being a stylist. I'm not only just a stylist, I'm a therapist. I become best friends with the clients. We get really close. I give them advice. They look at me for more than just wardrobe. So, for a while after that, I was praying and I was like, God, I think that this is what you're calling me to do. I think that you're calling me into a space of helping others with my journey, inspiring others with my journey. So I was praying and praying and praying. And I'm a believer that if you are diligently seeking for answers, God will show you the answers. For example, every moment, every time I was booked, I was feeling a little bit empty. I was going to set feeling like, is this purpose, God? Is this why you kept me here on earth? Am I doing your work? And if so, if I'm not, point me in that direction. I love styling and I know that God knows that I love styling. Throughout my whole cancer journey, especially when I got diagnosed again in 2019, I was in the hospital receiving treatment. And for a short break in between treatments, I would go home and I would always be booked for a job. So for me, I'm like, I'm not going to question it. God, I know that styling is my purpose. But what else? What other tools do you have in the kit for me? Because I needed more. And God came through and he answered this prayer for me. And it happened in the most weird way. Not weird way, but in the most organic way possible. So last year in the fall, I was invited during Fashion Week to speak on a panel. And I had this thing where I have a little bit of imposter syndrome. And I also know that with the imposter syndrome, I also kind of try to dilute myself, especially in a room full of people. I've always been known to being funny, loud. I don't even have to really walk into a room and say anything. I walk into a room and I pretty much command attention. So when I'm amongst my peers, I like to really try to dilute myself. And I've learned that that's not really the best approach in life. And it happened in the most funniest way ever. So we're all up there and we're all talking about our styling journey. It was a panel of all stylists. We're all talking about our journey. And I have my best friend in the audience. And they opened up the floor for people to speak. And my best friend got up. She was like, I have something to say. She got up and she was like, when you guys look at this man right here, you guys got to know what purpose looks like. She then began to explain about how I had beat cancer twice.
As a survivor, for me to see my friend sitting there, it's just walking in your purpose and how God will keep you alive for you to be a vessel to so many people. And I just thank you, and I want to give you your flowers in front of everybody, because being a two-time cancer survivor, there's nothing light about that.
Yeah. I normally don't share that part of myself. When I first meet people, you either know if you know, or you follow me on social media, or we're friends. So she got up and she told everybody pretty much, he's a cancer survivor. This is what purpose looks like. God kept him through all of that. He's still living in his purpose. And immediately when she spoke about the cancer, she broke the energy in the room. I mean, it went from people going into their own health journeys. It went from people crying. It went from people being thankful that I'm still here and thankful that I'm doing what I love to do. And I really had to sit with that thought to myself. And I was like, yo, God, if a part of my journey is to explain my story, to inspire other people to go out there and pursue their dreams, or to inspire other people to want to be, stay another day, or fight a disease, or circumstance in their life, then I'm going to take that on, because a part of surviving anything is to kind of be a vessel to other people that may be struggling through what you've already overcome. The next day, after the panel talk, my best friend, who stood up and kind of, gave the whole spiel of my journey, went on a dinner date, and we just were catching up. And for a while, her husband and Jess, always telling me, Manny, you need to write a book. Manny, you need to write a book. And I was, kind of hesitant, because with the impostor syndrome, you're like, who wants to hear about my story? What makes my story different? Essentially, who really cares about my story? And that's what impostor syndrome is, the feeling of doubt and the feeling of not enough. So I was kind of open to it. I was like, okay. We're sitting at dinner and my friends were like, if I tell you the title of the book, you got to write this book. I was like, okay. At this point, you've been telling me since 2020 to write a book, got a little taste of what my story means to other people, or what my story could do for other people. Tell me what the title is. So they said, Styling My Way Through Cancer. And it just literally clicked to me. I was like, I never looked at myself like an author, but God has already put into me a story that I have to tell. So I ran with it. I was like, okay, let's go. I'm gonna write this book. I'm gonna take the steps to write this book. Essentially, I want to write a book. And starting this podcast to me feels like I'm going to connect with my audience and allow people to step into my world, allow people to step into my thoughts, my creative process, my day-to-day struggles. Working in fashion, I think is very easy for people to illustrate this perfect image of themselves, and no one has any flaws. No one's gone through anything. I'm perfect. I'm sample size. I'm the it girl. And it's like, reality is, we all deal with stuff, and we all have to come home and lay our head down on the pillow and come face to face with our thoughts. I want to be vulnerable with you guys. I want to show you guys that you can be successful. You can go through life struggles. You can, be all of those different versions of yourself and still be whole and still be a light and still be important, because imposter syndrome, girl, we don't got time for you. And purpose is important. My purpose, even on days where I don't feel important, or I don't feel like, I just feel like that 1% or whatever, people are looking to me for advice and light. And I'm very happy to share this part of myself, this very vulnerable part of myself. Even me speaking in front of you guys and allowing you guys into this world of mine, it's very new to me. I'm used to being behind the scenes, and I'm very happy to share this new journey with you guys. Yeah, we're gonna style our way through life together. We're gonna style our way through the week together. We're gonna style our way through all of life's challenges. So today's guest is someone that's very, 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 very important to me. I met today's guest, I believe, in 2019, before I got diagnosed with cancer. She actually, although I had clients before her, she felt like the first client that actually took me serious. I felt like, I had the experience assisting other people. I was going on different sets, but every time I reached out to different clients and different people for styling jobs, they were all like, oh, I'm working with someone right now. Oh, you're too green. All the things that makes you feel like, how do I even get into the door? How do I even start doing this? I was approached by her publicist. At the time, she wasn't working with a stylist, and they were like, hey, I have this talent for you. She's amazing. She just wants some style direction. And I was like, I'm gonna do this. At the time, I had not heard too much about Jackie. I wasn't watching influencers or YouTube people. Another thing too is like, on a day-to-day, I don't wear makeup, so I wasn't checking for any makeup advice. But I knew she was a big deal. I had Googled her, and all these amazing articles came up about her and her YouTube videos. And I was like, wow, this person is really special. They're bringing something completely new to the table because, as people of color, brown people, we don't have a lot of representation when it comes to damn near anything and everything in the media. So I went on set. We did a press shoot. I think it was about 4 or 5 looks, and we hit it out the park. Her publicist got back to me and was like, yo, she really likes you. And I'm like, okay, great. Months went by, and unfortunately the cancer came back, and I had to take a break and step away from styling for a little bit. Fast forward, after I beat the cancer, I had gotten another call from Jackie's team, and they had said to me, hey, she has a shoot. Would you mind styling it? And I was like, okay, sure. At that time, I was in between treatments, so I came on set with a mask. And at that time, I was a little insecure about coming on set with a mask. It was 2019, and a lot of people weren't wearing masks. And the people that did see me, I felt like, I just stuck out like a sore thumb. People would stare and just, make you feel like you're kind of like an alien or someone weird just walking past them. So I was very insecure stepping on set with the mask on, but I was like, you know what? If I'm called to be here, I'm gonna come here as my full self, and it's no one's business why I have a mask on, but I'm gonna show up for myself and for the client, but most importantly, myself. Of course, the shoot goes by, me and Jackie are vibing, we're going through looks, we're speeding through them. And I remember one thing that stuck out to me that Jackie said to me on that set was, oh, you're wearing a mask. She was like, that's the future. She was like, I'm about to start wearing a mask. That's the future. And that made me feel good. I felt like not only am I ahead of the curve, but like, I don't feel alienated because I do have a mask on. She kind of was more embracing the idea of like, wow, like we need to all start doing that. I don't think no one saw it coming, but then, the pandemic came and everyone was wearing masks. And at the time when the pandemic came, I was ready to take my mask off because I had just beat the cancer just to have to put the mask back on. I don't know. So I quarantined more than anybody I know between cancer and COVID. But during that time, Jackie was busy building a candle brand for Evermood. And I was getting invited to style all of the campaigns, which led to Jackie then wanting me to continually style her. And, like I said, working with different talent on and off, nothing really stuck. But Jackie actually saw something in me that I felt like, but how do I end up getting here? How do I get people's attention? I think we all, especially when you work in the industry, you're trying to figure out like how to build clientele. So Jackie is one of the first people that actually gave me a real opportunity to style her consistently and embracing me and allowing me to explore and play with looks, She has been supportive from day one. She has brought me onto every Forever Mood campaign she's ever done. Not only did she bring me to every Forever Mood campaign, but she also took me to the Met Gala with her, and I was able to style her for the Met Gala. And the story gets better, y'all. The story gets better. So on September 13th, 2021, I styled Jackie for the Met Gala. Rewind, September 13th, 2019, I received a life-saving bone marrow transplant, which is why I'm even here today. When I think of intention and I think of purpose, God led me right into that and more. Being able to style somebody that had believed in me since 2019, and I've been able to walk with her throughout her journey. And here she is walking the Met Gala carpet. You know, I think as a stylist, that's everyone's dream, is to style somebody for the Met Gala. And here I am styling somebody that actually believes in me, that we've seen each other grow. Even in the short period of time we've worked together, we've seen each other grow tremendously. I was like, yo, God, like, how did you set this up? And how did you set this up on the same day 2 years later? It was a full circle moment for sure. So I'm really excited to bring Jackie on the show today, because not only did she believe in me from the beginning of my styling career, this is my first podcast episode, and she believes in me so much that she's willing to be my first guest on today's episode. I'm really excited to share Jackie with you guys. I'm really excited to have this conversation, and I hope you guys enjoy. So guys, welcome back. Allow me to introduce my first guest. She doesn't need any introduction. She is the original It Girl on YouTube, who's transitioned her brand into lifestyle and has also created an amazing candle line called Forever Mood. The iconic, the beautiful, the talented Jackie Aina.
Hey, y'all. Thank you for having me, Manny.
Yo, for real, I have to thank you, because this is my first episode.
I'm honestly honored, because I didn't know that. You didn't tell me that before this. So I'm okay, period. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, you're my first guest. And like I like to say, you are the first person that gave me a real chance in styling. So it just feels very full circle.
Which is so crazy, because when I first started working with Manny, like you, Manny, I'm trying to like keep the audience engaged. When I first started working with you, I thought like, oh, you're already like well on your way. Like you're established, you're good. I'm like, I'm surprised he's even taking me as a client, because when you're working with a stylist, like it's a busy game. And when you're booked, you're booked. So it's honoring to hear that I was someone who really,
It's crazy because like I had, worked with Law and worked with all these other stylists. So I was in the room with a bunch of people, and I thought immediately after assisting them, oh, I'm going to get all these clients. I'm going to just be booked and busy. And I would get clients here and there, but like you were in my opinion, the first one that was just like constantly booking me, believing in my vision, and just allowing me to do things even beyond styling you, which was like styling your campaigns for your candles.
That was fun.
That was fun.
We used to do the Forever. That was when we had way bigger budgets as well. But honey, okay, the economy ain't that cute.
Okay.
But yeah, and also like I think with Forever Mood specifically, like we've peeled back on a lot of big stuff, and we've done more like smaller intentional launches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when we first launched, we had to make our mark. Like, so we did the big campaigns. We would like write scripts. It was fun. It was really fun. But like we've been kind of like, I do miss that, but at the same time, it puts less pressure on us to do that for like every single launch,
Right. And that makes sense, because you like literally every launch was kind of like a story.
It was a story. And I think that was fun at the time. And maybe we'll revisit that like again in the future, but it requires a lot.
Yeah.
So there's so many moving parts to book and stuff like that.
Yeah. I can only imagine.
Yeah. But it was fun.
Yeah. I'm glad I had that experience with you.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, let's get right into it, sis.
Grill me, honey.
Let's talk about this video on TikTok that's going viral.
Oh my God.
Do we want to play it back for her?
Hi everybody, aloha. Thanks for watching. Real quick, I wanted to make this video because I have a lot of people asking me, what do you do to your skin? What is your daily routine, your regimen like?
It was the St. Ives and the clean and clear honey.
Yo,
I had no business using no damn St. Ives.
it's the Hello Kitty change for me.
That was iconic though.
That was
I
iconic.
was a Hello Kitty girl. Like, trust me, if I made the money back then that I really deserved to make,
Yeah.
I would have really had some Hello
Like crazy.
Yes.
I love that. And Hello Kitty is still relevant. So you was 2009, 2024. She's still a girl.
She's still that girl. Absolutely.
So when you watched that video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that Jackie knew that she would become this Jackie today?
It's funny because I read a comment in that video and they said something like, Jackie then had no idea how rich she would be now. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I knew I was gonna be rich. Like, I just knew it. I just knew it. When you know. That I knew. Maybe not how rich I think I wasn't really privy to. Like, I just knew. I was like, yeah, I'm like pre-rich. Like, I'm just not there yet. You know? Like, I'm just mentally rich in my head, in my heart, in my spirit. But yeah, I definitely knew the success was coming. I just didn't know what level. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but I knew I was going to get there. When I shot that video, the word influencer didn't even exist.
Okay.
That was not people's jobs back then.
Right.
So how could I have manifested a job that didn't even exist at the time? Like, I had no idea.
Right.
So that's what I mean by, like, I knew I was going to get there. I just didn't know what was going to get me there. So now in present day, when influencer, that's content creation is very much a career.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay. Once I think, like, it was probably like year 5, 6 for me that I was like, I've been doing this for so long and it's been fun, but like, I need to do something with it. Mm-hmm. And then it took off. That was when I was like, okay, this is the medium for me. Now I get it. But back then I had no idea. Like, I didn't know how I was going to get there. I didn't know how long it was going to take.
What kept you consistently wanting to post and create videos?
To be honest with you, I had a really good, I think, advantage back then because I had community. Mm. Nowadays, people want no shade because, we live in a capitalistic world. And so I get it. You got to get it where you fit it. People want the money and the stuff first. Right. They want access to things. They want the PR, boxing. Like, it looks good and fun and shiny, but I didn't have that then. Mm. So I was like, I was just here for the girl. I was like, right. I was in a really horrible, like, I don't even want to say things that would get your video flagged, but I was basically like, if something happened to me next month, like, okay, like, I lived my time, like, right. I was not well, like, right. mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially. I was going through like a really hard time, literally at that point when I was filming that video. Mm. So I was just like, oh, people are nice to me online. Mm. Like, that's how low the bar was for me. I was like, they're like, telling me I look good. Like, they're actually being nice to me. Like, I was not hearing that behind closed doors. So for me, it was like, oh my God, like, people are so cool. Like, and it was kind of like before trolls and stuff. Like, it wasn't as weird as it is now. Right. So I really was just kind of like on there. And I started my channel because I was like tired of going to the makeup counter and like leaving looking orange, looking like... That is not my color. Yeah. So what I was doing was I was showing people like, okay, if you live in a town where like the girls can get you together, like, I'm gonna just show you what I do. And if it works for you, it works. If not, if not. So I was really bonding with people that looked like me who were not used to being told, this is gonna look beautiful on your complexion. Here's how you do this on your complexion. Like, Black girl, I feel like the average Black girl at that time period has probably heard, no, don't look good on you. Wouldn't work for you. No, not on your skin tone. Mm-hmm. So like, those were the audience of people, like, that's who I was communicating with. So that was good enough for me. And I'm not necessarily saying that has to be good enough for people who are starting now, because it is a job and it does require an investment in being a content creator. Cameras and lights cost money. Mm-hmm. Product costs money. Clothes cost money. But at that time, because I wasn't, like, I didn't even know that was a thing like that. I was, I kind of had a really good advantage because I could just be there for fun, because I wasn't going to make no money.
And it's crazy because the way you just said how you were doing this for the girls that had no representation. Right. It's crazy that there was so many girls that needed you to be that representation, Yeah.
And there were definitely, like, I wasn't, at that time, I definitely wasn't the only one. Mm-hmm. But, the way these algorithms are set up, like, right. You got to damn near be like a search engine expert to like find somebody who looks like you. Like if you don't know how to like, if you wouldn't think to type like how to like foundation review for Black girl, like some people don't think like, let me pinpoint my search. The most algorithms and most platforms will give you the default, and the default will probably be like a white person or like a lighter Asian person.
Right.
So it was really hard for not just me, but like my other viewers to find there was plenty of women who were doing what I was doing too. They just were hard to find.
Right.
You know, a lot of the platforms and the websites just make it so difficult to find diverse people. So yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy that you hit the YouTube scene, and it's been the sky's the limit since then, right?
Yeah, it's so funny. I never thought of it this way because YouTube was always like my default platform. But like, you know, people say like, if you make it on YouTube, you can make it on any platform.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, damn, that's okay, true.
Yeah.
Because some people cannot carry the same energy in like a 30-second video as opposed to like making a 30, 40-minute video on YouTube.
Right.
So I'm kind of like really grateful that was like where I started. Because now I'll be looking at TikTok like, this is kind of light work. Like, this is easy.
And for me, that's heavy work.
It is hard because content creation in general is not easy. But when you're used to having to make a 20+ minute video entertaining, it's actually in a way more challenging because now I gotta like condense it. Like I'm used to like getting on YouTube and talking about the undertone, the da-da-da-da. On TikTok, people, girl, does it look good? Should I get a yes or no?
Right.
And I'd be like, but I want to give you the deeds. Like, go on. Like, I need to give you more. I'm used to like carrying a conversation on YouTube.
Yeah.
Now it's like 30 seconds or less.
Yeah.
The attention span, girl, people got the attention span of a fish on TikTok. Yeah. So if you don't open it up, boom. If you don't say something crazy or like damn near clickbait, you're going to lose the audience.
That's true. That's good advice actually too for those who are trying to get popular on TikTok or YouTube too. Just to kind of find your niche, right?
Yeah, that's true. And also like some people are like, short form is my thing. That's okay. And some people are like, long form is my thing. Like,
you prefer?
TikTok is easy because it literally takes me like maybe 10 minutes sometimes to edit something, depending on what it is. But I do miss the days of like long YouTube reviews. Yeah. Like, okay, this is my unpopular opinion.
We love an unpopular opinion.
No, drag me. I'm here for the beauty, like girls and just people in general that are on TikTok. But I'm rarely ever sold on buying something from a TikTok review.
Got you.
Because it's way too condensed for me.
Yeah.
I need a wear test.
Yeah.
I need to see, did you swim in it, girl?
Yeah.
I need a bit more than just like trying this for the first time, gotta go. Like TikTok is so fast that I don't really feel like you really get to do, and I do beauty reviews on TikTok as well, but they're usually like 4 to 5 minutes. They're usually a little longer because I feel like, okay, worst case scenario, I'm gonna give you like 4 to 5 minutes. But for the beauty, like I come from like, we would chat, like it was basically like if I talked about one product, even though the YouTube video would maybe be like 20, 30 minutes, that was a 2-hour video.
Right.
I filmed it for 2 hours.
Wow.
Because I was trying it. I was swatching it. Maybe I wanted to show you all the dark shade. Maybe I wanted to show you in low light. I wanted to check in 6 hours later, see how it held up. Like we did reviews on, and I miss those days.
I mean, now that we're talking about reviews and items from that video, I saw that you were using milk of magnesia. How do you feel about milk of magnesia now?
Do not put that on your stuff. Matter of fact, another unpopular thing in. I'm not the DIY girl. I'm not making no DIY hair mask. I don't care how good it is. I don't care if it's Ed White's mayo. Everything that belongs in your kitchen belongs in your kitchen, not on your face. Not out of your hair. Preservatives, turn that up. Yes, I will take all the preservatives in the world. Thank you. I believe in science. I'm a Christian, but I believe in science. Like, they made that. They regulated it. They put it on shelves. It's shelf stable. Don't give me no mayo. Don't give me no mayo. Don't give me no eggs. What? Milk of magnesia? Stop. What do they do? They're also doing like, oh my God, Vagisil. People were using Vagisil as a primer.
Oh my God.
Guys, I understand We got to be quick-witted. Sometimes when you're in a budget, you got to improvise. I understand, but these things are not tested to be used in that way. Oh, girls, just stop. Okay, look, I tried to judge because, like I said, you got to be quick-witted. You got to improvise, but it ain't formulated for that, boo-boo. It ain't. Maybe good for like a quick hack. Like I kind of understand why like the performer girls were doing the milk of magnesium. And I think that's also like the exception. And I wouldn't necessarily use that every time I wear makeup.
Right.
Because it'll mess up your skin.
Right.
It'll dry your skin out.
I could believe it.
It'll destroy your like skin barrier. Like I started getting more oily when I would use that.
Well,
because my skin was like,
girl, what's this?
Girl, you're starving me. And of course, back then I probably wasn't using like proper moisturizer. Like I wasn't probably wearing like sun.
I mean, if I didn't know that was your opinion now, I would have ran to the market and got some milk and magnesia.
Nah, don't
do it.
Get you a good primer.
Okay.
And proper skin prep. You won't need to stop as much shine. It won't be as extreme.
So no to the milk magnesia, y'all.
Hell no.
No to the milk magnesia. Another thing that I noticed from that video was just your confidence. Is that something that you took time to build? Do you feel as confident now back then?
That's so weird. I didn't feel like I had confidence, but I don't feel like I was that confident on camera.
Okay.
You thought I was confident?
I feel like now you are. And I feel like that's what I'm saying, like the buildup of how over the years, how did you get to this place where you're just like so confident in who you are?
Well, you know what? I think well, first I've been doing this for 15 years. This is my 15th year.
Wow.
And over time, like, it's like a muscle, right? Like, it's like working out. Like, the more you do something, the more comfortable you become. But also, like, have you ever, like, filmed something and then you look back and you're like, why am I so stiff? Like, was I shy? Was I uncomfortable? So I think just watching my own content over time and being like, okay, maybe not. Like, maybe I'm moving around a bit, be a bit more free, more vibrant. So I think that just comes with like the repetition and like recognizing I like when I'm this energetic because then this is the output. The video is more enjoyable. People respond better to it. So yeah, I think it just really just comes from seeing it
over and over.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. But it takes a lot of time. And I always tell people who like are like really nervous when they're public speaking and they're like, oh, you're probably a pro at this. And I'm like, yeah, but like 15 years is a long time. And even 5 years is a long time to be doing something. So give yourself the credit of, practicing something. Like it's not something you do overnight. Right. It's not something you become good at overnight.
Right.
Like makeup. Makeup is the same thing. Yeah.
Because I'm experiencing that now with just doing this for the first time. I'm like, okay, cameras are on me. I have a crew watching me. And I'm like,
you're doing good.
How do I exist here?
You're kind of eating.
Period. Okay.
If you would have told me if you would not have told me this was your first time doing this, I wouldn't have known.
Period.
And also, you know what I've learned? Like, why do they need to know I'm not a pro at this? That's not the business. You hired me for the job, so like, I'm here.
I'm showing up.
If I'm not good at it, no bad. Like, you should have done research. Oh, well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I love that advice. Yeah.
So just channel like your inner Delulu.
Yeah.
Leos are queen of Delulu. But look, it's for our benefit most time.
Yeah. I like that. So, okay. In all of your years of living and all of your years of just existing in this world and maneuvering, is there a life lesson that you feel like today you've learned that has changed your life?
Oh, a life lesson. I think the biggest thing that I've learned is the fact that like what feels like forever really isn't. Mm-hmm. So like I wish I would have been like kinder to my younger self about like not having things figured out at a certain age or like not having accomplished things at a particular age, because it's like, girl, you're only 21, like cool down. Yeah. But I also think the pressure and the standards for women are like wild. Right. Like you're expected to do this by a certain point and do this by a certain point. Mm-hmm. So just like, no, it's okay. Like you're doing that, that's good. But like, this is to me.
Right.
I have a little bit something different planned, and it may take me a little longer, but the reward may be bigger if I wait longer for it. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I love that. Ooh, love that. How do you stay inspired?
Ooh.
What keeps you inspired?
You know what? I think the best thing I'm really good at is being open to change.
Okay.
I think every good content creator needs to be open to change. So that could look like when a trend dies, bing, let it go. Like
There you go.
that
Yeah.
used to be your bread and butter. Okay, it's not. Move
Yeah.
on. Like, you know, everybody loves being like, I'm shadow banned, I'm shadow banned. No, the content ain't hidden, girl. Like, it's time to pick up, you know, we got to do something new. Like, clean it, like, reinvent, do something fun. You know what I mean? And sometimes people like shadow banned. That is a thing. But for me, instead of, like, one thing that a lot of my peers that started when I did really struggled with is, like, evolving to, like, the new platforms, the new trends, like what works, what doesn't. Social media sometimes moves a little too fast. So just being, I think, open and willing to be like, okay, maybe I'll try this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you hate it, you hate it. You don't have to conform to what's popping all the time. But I think definitely being open to change is like my number one.
And that's like a struggle of mine, just kind of trying to keep up with all the new things that are happening.
You don't have to.
Right.
And you can. Okay, so what I like about social media is there's like a fine balance between like being on your toes. So there's always something new. I like that. But you also have to be like, okay, I don't need to hop on every wave. And I'm okay with that, you know? Because you still want to have your own signature. You want to move at your own pace. And you also don't, you also don't want the internet to decide who you are.
Right.
Like, people would tell me, okay, so this is like a really specific example, but like, you know, in my home content, like my lifestyle content, my house is bright white. It's like, baby, like, is this a film studio?
It's gorgeous, y'all, by the way.
I love, thank you.
Yeah.
I love like super clean. I love it to look airy, beautiful. And like, there was like a whole time period when it was like the girls in the South were doing like the low exposure content and it looked good. Like it was a vibe. It was a moment. And then people used to be like, oh, you know, the girls are doing low exposure. You should try that. I'm okay. Actually.
Why not? Why?
Like, I'm still, you know, I'm still keeping up, but
yeah,
okay, that's not for everybody. That's not for me.
Right. Okay.
So just knowing what's for you and just finding the balance, I think, is really important.
Okay. So I briefly touched this earlier in the segment of burnout.
Oh, God.
And I know that in the past you have experienced burnout with like YouTube and content creating. So tell me about where you were at the time.
That like snuck on me like so unintentionally, because when people would say they experience burnout, like, what are you talking about? Like, just get off the computer. Like, I was so confused at the concept of that as a creator, but it's very real. And I honestly, I don't know if it was like a pandemic, like just what was going on in the world, but I really felt like a creative block. Like, I think that's what I was really experiencing, was like the burnout part and the creative block part.
Right.
And it just got to a point where I was like doing this job on my own for over a decade. I've never had a writer. I've never had a producer. I've never had a creative director. I was feeding the machine the entire time on my own. And a lot of people who do this as a job, like, they hire a team early on.
Right.
Editors, you know, creative directors, people who produce ideas for them and stuff. I'd never had that. So I'd been coming up with all the sauce the whole time.
Right.
And then the pandemic happened and I was like, this feels weird. Like, we're in a global pandemic. People don't care about no damn bronzers. Like, I was just like, I cannot. So it kind of like, I think that is what got the ball rolling and started with that. I don't know if I would have experienced that had it not been for the pandemic, or maybe I would have. Maybe I would have been like, okay, girl, like, I'm running on E now. But I had to take a step back and really evaluate, do I want to do this job anymore?
Right.
Because also the content that I talk about shouldn't be controversial, but it's sad that like saying this brand should have more dark shades is controversial to some people because they consider that reverse racist. It's very odd.
It's about making everything inclusive.
It's about making it, but hey, now, people are strange. So some of the content that I did sometimes unknowingly caused controversy in times where it shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And because I'm a visible Black creator, talking about topics that a lot of times people were like, don't talk about. It subjected me to a lot of harassment and like literal verbal abuse online. And I think that kind of like, you move past it and you don't really deepen. And then at one point I was like, oh, maybe this is affecting me more than I realized. So then it all just kind of happened at the same time. I was like, first of all, I'm running out of ideas. Then I'm tired. I'm tired of like posting a review and getting called a monkey, like for no reason. Like, just come on, seriously. Like we're talking about makeup.
Yeah.
We're talking about real issues too. On top of that, colorism. I would talk about racism, but like that stuff really happens. Like you want me to not talk about it because it's inconvenient to you? The world don't work that way.
Exactly.
Like we're going to share our experiences. And so I just was tired. I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this job anymore. I'm going to take a beat and just like think about it. And you know what? I'm really glad I took a beat and thought about it and took a break, because then I was like, wait, I actually still love this job. I just want to do things differently now. So then when I figured out what I wanted to do differently, then I could fix that problem. And then when I fixed that problem, it was like, okay, we're good.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about styling. Like
really,
where I just felt a little uninspired. It was just kind of like, I'm showing up and I do this job well, but what does this really mean?
When did you experience that?
I think this year.
Really?
Like the end of last year, actually.
Wow.
Because of just being like, okay, I'm booked and I'm busy and I'm doing these jobs, but am I actually feeding my soul and the soul of others? Is this what purpose looks like?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that taking a break, recalibrating.
That's what it feels like. It's like resetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can get a lot of inspiration from like recalibrating, resetting.
Taking some time off.
Facts.
Now that you're back in a good groove and a good place, what are you finding most rewarding about, creating content or just actually being Jackie?
Well, I always love being Jackie. There's only one me. I love having a healthier relationship with the audience now.
Yeah.
I think before there was these standards that I was subjected to that I didn't opt into. And then it was like, wait, we like veered so far off the original plot of the movie that now y'all got me taking on things I did not sign up for. You know what I mean? So then I just kind of feel like there was a point where people were like moving the goalpost. You would accomplish one thing, you would do one thing, and then people would then like be like, now you're responsible for this. And I'm like, whoa, like this is too much. So I think it just got really heavy at one point. And then taking a step back and realizing how much that affected me as a person and as a creator allowed me to be like, I gotta make some changes. And also like, I miss when this job was fun and like, how can I make it fun again? So reevaluating that and also like having a healthier work-life balance as well has really allowed me to be like, oh my, I love this so much. And then I think also like when I was going through like the creative block with makeup, that was when I started Lavishly Jackie.
Perfect.
That to me was like solidified. That's how I solidified. I actually still love being a content creator. And that's when I felt like a sigh of relief. Cause like, okay, I'm not ready to like delete, deactivate everything. Like I was like, I still love this. I just needed something different.
Right.
And then I feel like people really got to see a different side of me that before they never did. So that was really fun.
You made everyone step up their lifestyle in general. Like working with you and being around you, I was like, I need to like, this is too inspiring to just like, sit around it and not pick up that energy. So I think you're doing a lot for other people when it comes to just like stepping their lavish lifestyles up, or at least trying to, right?
I feel like there was a lot of creators and influencers that I watched that made me, I'm like, oh, they do the stuff that I do off camera. Like I should do that as well. Like maybe people will enjoy it. Maybe they won't. Let's try it and see what happens.
Right. Nice. Okay. So let's move on. Let's go to Met Gala because
iconic.
Me and you both worked on that together. So what is like one of your fondest memories of the Met Gala? Whether it was like getting ready, whether it was being there, what sticks out to you the most?
So, my non-negotiable was like working with a Black designer.
Right.
I was like, American fashion, I need a Black person, period. Because Black Americans specifically. And for people who don't know, when you go to the Met Gala, like you can't just like wear whoever you want. Like Anna Wintour handpicks every designer per person.
Right.
Right.
CFDA. It's on. They have to be on the committee.
They have to be on the committee as well. So you can't just like I don't think you can just like show up as Zara. Like, I don't think you can do that. And and the designer that you choose has to be in the CFDA committee. And so the theme that year, which was 2021, was American fashion. And obviously, like, don't get me on my Black Panther, because I'll just sit here and just be like, Black people invented everything.
It's true.
But technically, technical. We have literally been at the forefront of so many things, creatively, musically, in entertainment, and especially African Americans specifically. Right. Not that I don't want to start a diaspora war, because obviously, Blackness, I'm proud to embrace and embody all Black cultures in general. Yeah. But it was really important for me to honor what it means to really embrace and honor like Black American fashion. So we got to work with Fee Noel, who actually is Caribbean. She's from the Caribbean. But again, y'all, I was limited. Like they picked the person.
We got 2 weeks.
I was just, and that too, they reached out 2 weeks before the Met Gala.
Yeah. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off.
No, you don't understand. And remember, I wasn't going to go.
Yeah, I remember that too.
I was like, this is too much for me. There's people who have like the entire year to prepare for this. I have 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
What am I doing? And I was really happy that I got paired with Fee Noel, because I really wanted, like, ideally I would have done like Laquan or something,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But Fee Noel, I was a huge fan of the brand at that time. Yeah. So I was like, I'm just happy as somebody that I actually know, that I actually love, that I would be honored to work with. And we ate. Like, I honestly, I'm still shocked we did what we did in that time frame.
And not to mention, I know we talked about it at the time, but so I had gotten a bone marrow transplant September 13, 2019. And then September 13, 2021, I was styling for the Met Gala.
It's crazy.
And I didn't even realize it till like, I think the day before. And I was like, wow, the universe, God, this is like full circle for me.
That's crazy.
And I never styled a Met Gala prior to that. So it was not only a celebration of life, but it was also like the first. So that sticks out to me like a sore thumb.
That's insane. And I think it's just crazy that like Met Galas are like, I don't know if I'll ever get invited to a Met Gala again. Like, that's like literally a once in a life. Well, I hope so.
Here's a question based off of that.
Ooh, okay.
If you were on the committee to choose the theme for Met Gala, what would you, if you were Anna's best friend and you said, girl, we got to do this, what would you tell her the theme should be?
You know what? Okay, so I actually saw this in a comment recently. So I'm going to take their idea because I thought it was a really good idea. But someone was like, they should have a Law Roach themed Met Gala. I think that would be everything.
That would be.
Because he has done so many like huge iconic, I mean, they just did Karl Lagerfeld.
Yeah.
Law's up there.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be sick.
Yeah.
But no matter what, it's going to include Black people. So
Anna, if you're listening.
Anna, shout out to Black people. Like,
shout out to Black
people. Or Andre Leon Kelly.
Yeah.
They could honor him in some way and like make it a theme. Like, I just think that would be really cool.
That would be actually really cool.
Yeah.
Anna, call Jackie.
Say that to this.
So my next question is relating to fashion and beauty. What is something that you love in the fashion industry or in the beauty industry that's happening right now? And what is something that you feel like just needs to stop?
Ooh, okay. So I don't know if I would say outright needs to stop, but I would absolutely love to see more Black fashion influencers specifically sitting front row at these shows.
Yeah.
I was just talking about this in my vlog and I was like, guys, like most of the Black people that you see at these shows that are front row are like in entertainment, they're artists, they're prominent editors, but you hardly ever see the Black fashion creators. And it does happen. Like there's quite a few of them that have been really working at this, but I almost kind of feel like they have to work a bit harder, you know, just as an influencer. Like I feel like in order to segue into fashion, you have to have something else take you there. Like you have to be like super famous, you know, like, because if you're in their eyes, not mine phrasing, just a fashion influencer, I feel like that's not good enough.
Right.
But there's non-Black, just a fashion influencers that sit front row at these shows.
What I've been noticing too is like sometimes these brands will sit Black creators, Black entertainers in the front row, but then as a stylist, when I'm requesting for clothes from these brands, they're saying no.
That's so weird.
And I'm like,
so they won't work with you, but
y'all want them to sit in the front row. Y'all want their, you know, their fan base and their followers.
Yeah.
But you don't want to dress these people.
So weird.
And I find that happening a lot.
I would actually think it'd be the opposite. Like they'd be dressing down, but then be like, girl, we ain't got no ticket for you. That's so weird.
So that's interesting to me. So I definitely
to change as well then. Because I think there should be some synergy there. Like if you're willing to seat someone at the show, then I want to see you in the designer.
I want to see you in the campaign.
I want to see consistency.
Yeah.
Like I want to see you making appearances wearing Gucci or wearing Fendi or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I want to see some synergy there.
Yeah. And it's a struggle, but I'm hoping that in the next few years, maybe after some of you people watch this podcast.
Decision makers, if you're watching, take note.
Take notes. And is there anything you just, did we cover that? Is there anything you just don't want to see in fashion or in general?
In beauty? I mean, I don't know. I just feel grateful to be here. Like, you know, I do love to complain, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, maybe that won't work for me, but it might work for someone else.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't really have any like hard non-negotiables right now.
Okay.
I mean, outside of like the blatant discrimination that still does exist in beauty, but that's such a like vague term. Like there's so many ways you'd have to tackle that, you know?
Okay. So I have another question.
Yes.
So on social media, you had made a announcement that you wanted everyone to stop calling you Auntie.
Yes.
What is that about?
Loud and proud. Basically, I basically got to a point where, you know, I was talking about like in my career, like the goalpost was always shifting of like, okay, you did this, now you need to do this, now you need to do this, now you need to do this. I just felt like everybody put me into this position. And even though, so there's actually like layers to this question because Auntie in Nigerian culture is like, oh, that's Auntie. Like, even if you're like 17, like then call you Auntie. So it doesn't really age you, but I kind of feel like because of everything that I experienced out, like in my career, personally and professionally, being the eldest child of 7 kids in my family. So I was always like in charge of people, the boss, the leader. And like, I came to realize that affected me in ways I didn't necessarily like feel comfortable taking on or like, I just never really felt like I could ever be my age. I always had to be like the leader of something, the example. And that like really affected me more than I realized. And, you know, you get to a certain age and like when you're in your like late teens, when you're like 16 or like when you're 17 and someone's like, oh my God, you're so mature for your age. That's like a flex. You're like, oh, thanks. When you're like 22, they're like, oh, you're so mature for your age. And you're like, thanks. And you're 25, you're like, you're so mature, you're so put together. And you're like, thank you. And then you're 36 and 40 and 50-year-old women are calling you Auntie.
Right.
And you're like, excuse me?
Right.
You're supposed to be giving me notes. This ends now. That's when I was just like, what? Like, so I'm always going to be the example, even for people that I'm supposed to look up to?
Right.
No.
Right.
Hell nah. And I was like, yeah, I get it. It's supposed to mean you're wise, da-da-da-da. But I'm not always going to be wise.
Right.
I'm going to make mistakes just like you. And you need to see me as a person. And I'm a human. And I feel like the Auntie label for me, I'm not talking about other people. I'm not talking about other people. I'm saying it just hits different for me personally. And honestly, Auntie and Big Sis go hand in hand to me.
Right. Okay.
Both, I don't claim both. Big Sis, actually Big Sis is even worse because I'm like a real life big sister.
Right.
So like, I need you to just, I need you to just let me be Jackie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Online, like, I just need you to let me be Jackie.
Yeah.
So.
And they're not calling like white girls Auntie, right? They're not doing that to white girls.
You know they're not.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you really implying?
Right.
I think for me, like, I just, was like, I just want to be 36-year-old Jackie, not like the wise, the mature. Like, I actually feel like the things that I've experienced have finally caught up to me.
Yeah.
I don't have to be wiser than I, you know what I mean? Like at one point it made sense because I kind of had to like grow up fast, and I kind of had to like, I experienced a lot more than what people in my age group did. Right. But now I feel like those experiences have caught up to me, and I feel like I don't want people to keep aging me more than what I am, because I really feel like it started to hit me when people older than me were like, oh, you're so mature. And it's like, girl, you have like 4 kids. Like, if you see me as the mature one, that's kind of a problem. Because like, who do I come to when I need wisdom and experience? Like, if everybody thinks I always got it, I don't. We're in trouble. Like, you know. So I kind of feel like, ooh,
you want to leave that title for?
Yeah, I know people are doing the whole rich auntie thing. I'm like, yeah, that's cute, but like, no, it don't hit no more.
It's Jackie.
This is Jackie. We 36, and I also don't want to be like young again. Like, I like the age I'm at now, but like, I just kind of feel like it was starting to like.
Way heavy, a little kind of.
It's feeling heavy. It's not feeling cute and endearing anymore. It's I feel like responsibility now.
Right.
So I had to like let it go.
I love that. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think we're at the segment now where I'm gonna ask you questions, some Spitfire, this or that.
Okay.
So here we go.
Okay.
Vintage or contemporary?
Contemporary.
Okay. Do you have a favorite piece that you have?
Probably something from Chanel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chanel girl.
She's a Chanel.
Vintage Chanel's still cute too, but...
See, that's why I didn't say vintage, because vintage doesn't always hit for every brand. So like vintage Schiaparelli, yes. Vintage Chanel, yes.
Yeah.
Vintage Dior, yes. But I'm definitely like a current.
Girl.
Current.
Yeah. Okay. Gold or silver?
Gold. I'm Nigerian, honey. Gold down.
Period. Okay. Paris or New York City?
Oh. Well, the food I'm there. I think I have to do New York.
New York?
It's when we not offend.
Okay. New York.
Actually quite similar though.
Yeah.
Don't you think Paris and New York are pretty similar?
Believe it or not, I've never gone to Paris yet, but I've heard all the stories. I know.
Wow.
Never been. Swim. Yeah. Maybe this year.
Maybe. You never know. That's crazy. You went to the Met Gala before you went to Paris. That's kind of a flex.
It is kind of a flex.
Period.
And I feel like everyone around me has described Paris so well that I'm just like, I've already been there.
I feel you.
Yeah. If you lived in New York, you kind of lived everywhere, but...
That's insane. It's actually a lot like New York.
Yeah. And I lived in New York, so...
Yeah, you would actually fit in really well.
Yeah.
Public transport is amazing. You can walk everywhere. There's a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, I think you would really like it. I mean, the fashion is different.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you something. The fashion girls in Paris are different in such an amazing way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Makeup or fragrances?
I almost feel like that is rude. I couldn't not wear fragrance. I'm pretty enough to go without makeup.
I was about to say that.
Not wear fragrance.
Okay. Period.
Yeah. That
was tough.
Brow gel, at least, like,
no.
Damn.
It's all or nothing.
Okay, fragrance.
Okay.
I gotta smell.
Yeah.
No.
Period. Okay. As far as fashion, winter or summer?
Summer. I know that's an unpopular opinion for fashion girls, but you know, I want you to see my titties.
Period.
I want maybe a little cheek, maybe a little bit.
I'm a winter boy because I love layering, but
yeah, I get it. I really do, but I love how the color palettes shift in the summer. Being shades, legs out, body bronzed.
Yeah.
I do like to use self tanner. Yes. Brown girls can also tan. Tap in the comments. I love tanner, but yeah, I just feel like I glow different. I'm a fire sign. I'm a summer baby.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, summer for me.
Okay, makeup content or lifestyle content?
Lifestyle content, because it can also incorporate makeup.
Ooh, she kind of got around that one. Okay, and my last question. This is based off of like their style and just what they've done to the industry as a whole. Diana Ross or Cher? That's hard.
Diana.
Okay.
I mean, they're both iconic.
Yeah.
Diana. And I saw her at a Renaissance concert.
Ooh, I missed that day, but yeah, I went to the day before.
I went twice.
Ooh.
I went Friday, and then I came back on Monday. It's Beyonce's birthday. I'm looking at her birthday.
I'm mad that I didn't know that, but I'm living through you.
It was great.
Yeah.
No, they didn't tell us who the guests.
Oh, they didn't tell you?
No, she came out of nowhere. We were like, what the? Yeah, it was crazy. It was.
Only Beyonce could bring Diana Ross.
No, I know. To sing you happy birthday. She was like, happy birthday. It was crazy. It was dope.
Okay, and let me ask you our final question.
Yeah.
So in my life, there's items in my wardrobe that I've had since I was like in high school. Yes. Just because either I loved it so much or it just still has great, wear to it.
Yeah.
Which is like I'm just thinking right now off the top of my head, but like a studded belt. I always keep me, like kind of had that rocker style. Same studded belt since high school.
Oh my God, I love that.
And the studs are still there. Is there anything in your wardrobe that you still have that has just lasted you a really long time and you've styled your way through seasons of your life with?
Manny, I'm not proud, but not one piece. I'm actually really bad. Okay, so my rule with fashion, it's actually like, I'm trying to unlearn this because it's really efficient, but I don't like keeping stuff for too long.
Okay.
So like, if I haven't worn it for 2 seasons, I get rid of it.
Wow.
I sell it or donate it. But now I look back, this is what I did like in the pandemic where
I remember I was cleaning your closet.
Yes. Okay,
yes.
so yes, you remember. Yeah. So this was like the era where like everybody was completely cleaning out their closets.
Yeah.
And then now that I like shop more intentionally, especially with clothes and accessories and bags and stuff, I'm creating and buying those pieces now that I'm like, no, I'm going to keep this for like decades.
Yeah.
So I don't really have anything like that I'm like obsessed with. That's like also quality. Like I don't really have quality.
Gotcha.
I make a lot of money, So I'm building those pieces in my wardrobe and jewelry as well now. So hopefully in 30 years, I can have a better answer to this question.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I do remember you not wanting to get rid of that Rihanna jacket that you had worn to the Rihanna launch.
The blinged out one?
The blinged out.
Okay, I do have that one.
I remember you said that was a non-negotiable. That cannot go nowhere.
I do still have that one, but she's still new. That's like, I got that jacket like 5 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Remember how heavy that jacket
I do remember.
was?
And it's really cute.
Oof.
But I did want to, I was trying to get rid of it. Remember, I was like, you were like, no.
It was actually sentimental, like.
No, of course.
Yeah, like.
Once you explained the story, I was like, oh, I understand.
Breathe on the jacket, like. Yeah. I can't get rid of that.
Exactly.
That's a good piece.
Jackie, it was such a pleasure. My first guest. And again, I just want to thank you for always just like believing in me, giving me opportunities that I feel like other people just kind of like look over. And you mean a lot to me, Jackie. And I want to continue to see you grow in all areas of life, especially fashion, because you have what it takes, girl. Like, you are literally, for me, I was like, this girl's a Barbie doll, like a dream. So
thank you. Thank you.
Fashion people, keep up, please.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep up, but thank you. I think the same of you, and I'm so proud of you. It is so crazy that like you oftentimes don't see what other people see in you, but I'm so proud of you. Two-time cancer survivor, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I'm trying to figure out, still to this day, I'm like, God, why me and not them? Like,
doesn't even matter.
Doesn't even matter.
I used to ask that and I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Now it's like, why not me?
Yeah.
Period.
Love that.
You don't need to know the answer to that question. And it's your, matter of fact, it ain't even your business. Like,
okay.
I'm here, period. Praise the Lord. Let's go kill it.
Amen. Oh, I love you, Jack.
Thank you. Love you too. You did amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. Of course.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Styling My Way Through. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and share. Give it a thumbs up. Tell a friend to tell a friend.